or cloth too, things go pretty quickly, but I'm gonna break them up in like 2 more sessions. Anyways, so when you are ready to assemble your trays, you want to obviously make sure that you have short stuff with short stuff, and, you know, inner tray with inner tray, outer tray with outer tray. So I labeled all my stuff. And I've got one mostly constructed, but I want to show you one thing that I did that maybe we didn't do with the slipcase. So these things have to be like perfect 90-degree angles on here. So if they're like this, right, your book's not going to fit in there. So what I do, and you can see that the walls of the short side should come in, right, this is the full length of your base, and then this one should meet, you know, right at the backboard. If they don't meet here, you need to do a little sanding so it's nice and square. So anyways, this guy's gonna go right here. So you wanna put glue in an L shape on the long side and on a short side. I would check it before you start gluing and constructing, because if it's way off, you probably want to re-measure or recut something. So then this guy's going to go, you know, it should fit right in here. And what you want to do is take your square and kind of bump that short wall up against the edge. That way you know that this is going to sit on here at a 90 degree. And you also want to, I usually, like, you can hold it out here too, so that as you're pushing that up against the back one there, you know that it's going to be square there too. So that's just something to like help you out, right? And you want to use straight PVA for this part, because it will hold things together better. So then, and I know you're not here yet, but when you have your cloth, you'll have one that's smaller, so that goes with the inner tray, and one that's larger for the outer tray. And what I did is I marked a 15 millimeter from the one long side, like a guideline, all the way down the edge. Can you guys see it? It's kind of hard with this fabric. And then I also folded this, and just on that same side where the guideline is, I pinched and found the center. That's going to correspond to the center line I put on the bottom of my tray too. So this is going to just help me kind of like, as I'm gluing this, make sure that things are getting glued in like a nice square kind of fashion. So we're going to start with what would be considered the foredge of your tray, because the foredge of your book would be on that side, right? Got me? You should use mix for this, but we're getting low on mix. And I have used PVA, it works. So anyways, for your knowledge. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the whole thing. And then I'm going to line up my center line right here. And I'm also keeping it parallel to that guideline too. So that gives me a nice 15 millimeter turn in on the bottom of my tray. Don't mess up and put it the other way, or else you won't have enough fabric to fold in on the sides. That would be bad. So I'm just going to make sure that that's adhered. And then you can cut some things open. So lay this along the one wall and cut open. I think this is probably one of the more like complicated parts of this construction, is getting like the turn-ins to turn in where you want them to. But I'll show you. So I just opened up a flap here and wanted the, got me? Okay, so now I'm ready to go ahead and glue a side and pull this up and then glue the other side. Remember when we were looking at the books and you're like, oh, I must make this box? You're all excited about it. Keep that enthusiasm. It's a good skill. even if it stinks. Okay, so now I got glue on here. I'm gonna turn this whole thing, and I'm lining it up along that guideline, right? That's what that line is for, so I can keep my edges all nice and square. And then do the other side. And I'm kind of pulling it so that it, you know, stretches the fabric out nice and flat. Okay, so now you have this business. Can you retain some other information? I have something else to show you here. You need to go cut some things? Okay, go cut your boards and I'll call you back in a little bit.